Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be all about this guy right here. This is the Colourpop No Filter Concealer. A lot of people have been loving this, hating this, not talking about this. So I wanted to do a full review on what I thought about this because a lot of people say that it oxidizes and I was kind of worried about that. So yeah, we're gonna find that out in this video, and I also do a little bit of a demo showing you guys how it applies, what the doe foot applicator looks like, that sort of thing. So if you guys want to check out this concealer, figure out what it's all about, then just keep watching. The Colourpop No Filter Concealer comes in this really cute packaging. It has a white top, a glass bottom. I think it's glass, it might just be plastic, and the Colourpop emblem, which is always in that like metallic-y silver. I'm going to show you guys a size comparison so you can kind of tell how big this product is. This is the Too Faced Born This Way concealer. As you can see, the Colourpop one looks a lot smaller in size also. Don't pay attention to the colors of both of these, they're completely different, but I will let you know why in a second. And then also to add into the mix, the famous Tarte Shape Tape. This is what it looks like beside these two. It kind of makes the Colourpop one look a lot smaller. So I want to remind you guys that even though this Colourpop concealer has less product and is smaller in packaging than these two concealers, I want to remind you that it's only $6 and I paid like at least $35 for each of these, not including shipping. So that also puts it into perspective that $6 for a concealer, that's what we're working with today. So let me first talk about the shade range. So in the shade range there are 15 different shades, and I just checked on the website and they don't have very deep skin tones. It kind of goes to like a medium deep and then it just kind of stops. So you never know, this was their first launch, they may launch more colors. So I ended up getting the very lightest shade. This is in Fair 5, and I don't usually get the very lightest shade because I'm kind of like one or two from the lightest. Like I'm pretty fair, but I'm not as fair as the lightest shade usually. But because I heard so many reviews that this concealer oxidizes, and oxidizing means that it gets darker once you apply it. The color that you see in the bottle actually gets a little bit darker after you wait a few minutes after you apply it. So I was kind of worried about that, so I got the lightest shade because if it does oxidize, it'll probably oxidize to my shade. When I first apply this to my face, it doesn't look like it matches me at all. It looks way too light for me. But once I blend it in and wait a few minutes for it to oxidize, it does match my skin tone, or at least it gives a little bit of a brightening look to my eyes, which I don't mind. I think that if I'm going to go lighter in anything, it's going to be a concealer because I can go darker in my foundation and balance it out. So I am happy with the color that I got, and I recommend you guys going 1 or 2 shades lighter than you think you are, just to kind of make sure. I'm going to show you guys how much it oxidizes just by applying it on my hand, and then we'll revisit it in a few minutes. So this is the first swatch. Actually, I'll go like this. Okay, so this is the first swatch, and then in a few minutes I will reapply it and just kind of see the difference between this and the newer swatch. So we'll let that sit. I also want to talk about the doe foot applicator because it's very different from other ones that I've seen. It's a flat applicator which applies product from both sides. The product kind of sits on either side of the flat, I guess, paddle you could call it. What I like about this applicator is that there's product on either side of it. So I use one side for one eye and then I flip it around and use the other side for the other eye. Whatever is left on the applicator, I then apply to my forehead, my nose, and my chin. And then it's the perfect amount to apply to my face. And I find that I don't ever have to dunk it back in to get more product. Whatever is on my brush from the beginning is what I use throughout my entire application process. I also want to mention that the doe foot applicator is extremely soft. Like, I don't know how else to describe it. When an applicator can be stiff, especially when you use it around your eyes, you have to be careful that you don't pull or tug at the skin. But this is very gentle. Because it's very flexible, it's easy to get in underneath my eyes and it doesn't irritate or kind of pull at my skin under there as well because of how flexible the wand is. I guess I should be calling it a wand. I don't really know. I don't know if you guys can tell, but the swatch on my hand is getting a little bit darker. It's matching a lot more on my hand, but we'll leave it to dry. So I'm trying to think about anything else I have to say about this concealer. The coverage of this concealer is pretty much amazing. I don't know how else to describe it. Like, it covers everything. It covers my dark circles. I don't really use it on my blemishes only because it's a lighter color. It's more for brightening, but I think that because of the coverage that it has on my under eyes, I think that it would work really nicely if you were able to color match for pimples or blemishes and that. The formula of it is very, very creamy and it dries down to a natural finish. It's not dewy and it's not matte. It's that natural finish in between. I'm a person that always sets my concealer, but if you don't, I recommend that you do because it doesn't dry too matte. So I think that you would get creases underneath your eyes if you didn't set this. Okay, so let's revisit this swatch on the back of my hand. As you can see, the shade in the bottle looks so much lighter than the swatch on my hand. I'm going to re-swatch right beside it. So this is the new swatch and this is the older swatch. You can see the difference between this one. This one looks a lot lighter, especially in this light right here. And then this one looks as if it's dried down. Also, comparing it to the bottle looks a lot lighter than what it applies on the skin. So if you guys are going by swatches online or by what the bottle looks like, just keep that in mind that it is going to be darker than what it appears to be in the bottle. Why does this one look lighter now? Okay, so as you can see, this is what it looks like when it's first swatched, and then this is what it looks like once it's dried down. So this is dried already. As you can see, this is what it first comes out as. I don't know why that first one didn't work as well, but you can now see the difference of the two. This one's completely dry and this is the newer swatch. So just keep that in mind when you guys are picking a shade. I would suggest going a shade or two lighter just to make sure that it matches you once it's dry. Overall, I think that this concealer is amazing for what you pay for it. If this was in Sephora and it was $30, I would buy it. I can compare this to my higher end concealers or even just my Tarte Shape Tape. Like, this compares to that, and I find that that is a crazy price point for a concealer. I think that it's amazing and I want Colourpop to keep it up and keep giving us products at a lower price point. Overall, this is a really great concealer. It's a great price point, great formula, great doe foot applicator. I think I like this applicator more than I like the other applicators on my other concealers. The applicator of this is definitely my favorite out of all my concealers. I don't have an applicator that even resembles something like this, and I feel like this applies the product a lot nicer. Before I tried out the Colourpop concealer, I was really enjoying the Becca Aqua Luminous Perfecting Concealer, and a reason why I liked it so much was the applicator, because it kind of looks like a little foot. I don't know how else to describe it, but I had to keep dipping in the concealer every time I would apply, and with the Colourpop one, I just have to apply whatever's on the brush when I take it out, and I never have to go back into it. So comparing all my other concealers, this is probably my favorite right now. So that's everything for this video today, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video on the Colourpop No Filter Concealer. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I will see you in my next one. Bye guys!